Hey guys, I just wanted to do a quick video showing what to expect in the next couple months and just kind of more proof that I'm not just sitting on the Patreon donations and not doing anything with them. I finally got the office kind of squared away. I'll just give you a quick little once over of that. So, I finally got all the pictures up on the wall. I got the gaming station all set up so that you could just wheel a monitor right in front of that couch. It's also dual outputs going to the OSSC and either a capture card or a monitor. I got my desk working fine. And then over there, that's the big deal right there. I could have the soldering station that's right next to the monitor in the middle and my computer. So I should be able to use that to do better how-to videos and good reviews and stuff. And just, little tiny things like having all of my stuff out on the counter rather than tucked away in boxes hidden in, a top shelf somewhere in my little apartment. That just made life so much easier. So, get back up here. So thank you again for everything. I'm going to stick with this and push really hard. And at the very least, we're at the point in the Patreon where I can guarantee one full day a week. Minimum, even if I end up losing my job. Right now I'm still working from home, so I could actually come in a couple of days a week and everything should progress pretty quickly. But right now, worst case scenario, I'm still in 1 day a week. The office is getting paid for by the Patreon donations. Thank you guys so much. And one full day a week means the podcast stays going forever. And I could do at least one review tech video or something per week as well. A lot of that, I would film here and then maybe take home and edit or something because, a lot of these things take a lot longer than you might expect. Even some of the more basic reviews take 8 or 9 hours just for something that turns into a 15-minute video. Because then I always put up the corresponding page. I try to fact check. I'm not perfect, but at least I'm better than certain other YouTubers that just don't even check their facts at all. But, that does take a lot of time. So at the very least right now, I should be able to put out at least one basic review a week, or if it's a big in-depth one, it might take a few weeks, as well as the podcast. But enough rambling. I want to show you guys all the stuff I'm going to be working on over the next couple of months. And unfortunately, I'm calling this catch-up work because I really need to catch up and do all these things that I've been sitting on. But hopefully, I'll actually get through them by the end. Excuse me. Hopefully, I'll have a cough that stops. This has been since December, but I don't even smoke cigarettes or anything, but hopefully I'll be all caught up, and then I could just continue to pile other work on top of it. So at the very least, when you see what I'm working on, you'll know that it's a long time coming before I run out of stuff to do. I really don't think I'll ever run out of stuff to do, but anyway, let me show you what I got. First up are the single flash Game Boy carts from BitBuilt. I actually think I'm going to be reviewing these first just because I feel really bad. I've been holding on to these for months. And I promised Noah I would test them and get them back right away. But basically, you slide these on the programmer, plug these into your computer, and he has different kinds for whichever your needs may be. So this is just a basic one, and I think some of these have save games on it, and others even have real-time clock. And you could just flash them with any single game and put them on. And I believe the two purposes would be, if you wanted a really cheap way to flash things, even cheaper than an EverDrive. But I also think these are more for people that want to test out their homebrew games and really just try them on solid carts before actually putting them through production or making them. But hopefully I'll get to that this week, and I'll be able to get Noah on for an interview. Next, I have the Retro Gaming Cables Pack-a-Punch cables. So, as you can see, I've been using them a little bit so far, and they're performing flawlessly. What I really want to do is take the one that syncs over a composite video, and because it's fully shielded, test it against this one. I also have somewhere an unshielded sync over composite video, so I'll be able to compare the three, and if all of our theories are correct, these two should actually look almost identical, and you should get a lot of jail bars in the unshielded version. Also have the Genesis one here, and I was helping Rob check the dimensions, and of course I hacked the top off because it wouldn't fit in my 32X, and then Rob explained that this was just a test run, and this this part right here will actually be more narrow, so the hole, including the rubber thing, will fit right in. And then this is just one of the unshielded Genesis cables, just to see if there's a difference. Now they both sync on composite or on C-Sync, so that these cables, I really want to see what the difference between a high quality unshielded and a high quality shielded with the exact same components in it. It is my guess, without testing, that the shielded version will have less audio hum when a white screen, or the brighter the screens are played, and this will have, you know, a louder hum when the bright screens are played. And that, I think the only difference will be the audio hum, but we'll see. We'll see in the screenshots. And this one, I don't really think I would want to worry about an oscilloscope for, because although it would be cool just to double check that they're both coming out, you know, 75 ohm C-Sync, I think no matter what, I'm going to see a little bit of a difference in the unshielded on a scope. But this is one of the few occasions where what really matters is the real world performance. So if I'm on a calibrated BVM or through an OSSC into a capture card that does full range color, I should be able to, you know, that should be good enough to see if there is a difference. So this one I'm kind of excited for, because for whatever crazy reason I get excited by cables. So hopefully this will be one of the ones I do on the sooner side. And here's all the Raspberry Pi stuff. So we have the ones from RetroTink. So this is the component video with this video out. And then he has the BNC 8-bit RGB port ones. And what I thought was very cool about this, not only does it have BNC outs just to go direct into a monitor, but he also has extra pins on top, so you could actually stack these if you wanted. So if you really wanted to get crazy, you could do component and RGB output, which I actually think would be pretty helpful for people who do streaming. This is the original GERT 666 VGA adapter, the 6-bit VGA. Still works very well, no complaints with this one. Got the one from Arcade Forge. I'm probably saying that wrong. I'm sorry, I'm a little sleepy. But that one is actually tall enough to sit on top of a full case. And then that swings around. And then, of course, RGB Pi, which is just the cable. And if your setup allows you to have your Raspberry Pi right next to your SCART switch, this is actually really, really handy, because it's short, it just goes right in, and it works very well. It's not compatible with the G-SCART switch version 3.4. Well, it kind of is. It's not. I don't think it's the RGB Pi that's the issue. I think that it's pixel perfect timings get kind of weird. I think if you just put like Laka on it, it would probably work fine in most cases. And here's the crazy one. So this is the one. I haven't even turned this on yet, so I'm not even sure if this particular one works. But the Raspberry Pi snaps onto it. And then you could have controller adapters for anything from TurboGrafx 16 to Neo Geo, and that's even for Sega Genesis. So I could actually just plug a Genesis controller right in here. And in fact, I did get a 6-button arcade controller. And the Pi sits right on top of it with a SCART output. So that's pretty neat. This one's pretty expensive, but I'm really interested to see how it performs, and actually how all of them perform against each other. But this is probably a full weekend project to test all these things. So I don't know when I'm going to get to it, but hopefully soon. I have an Atari 5200 with the RGB kit, the Sophia kit. Simius did a great job on this. I have a feeling this is actually going to be a very easy install. It even comes with a neat little ribbon cable, so that you basically just pop out the chip, pop this in its place, plug this in, and then mount the RGB cable somewhere. And then I believe Retro Console Accessories even made the Sophia SCART cord for it. So I just kind of got one of those. I didn't need anything shielded because, excuse me, I think this output's just pure C-Sync anyway. But this is going to be an easy one, but I'm probably going to hold off on this for a while, just unless you guys disagree. I feel like this one's kind of less important than the rest. I have a new Neo Geo Pocket Color. I've never used this one before, but apparently it's a slim version, and you could tell because of the vertical serial number here. But when the Neo Geo Pocket Color ROM cart comes in, God, I hate saying that, Neo Geo Pocket Color. When that ROM cart comes in, I'm just going to do a very quick NGPC video. I think My Life in Gaming might consider doing one as well, but mine will be a quick overview with technical stuff, and theirs will be freaking awesome. But I definitely love the clear case and everything. This one's kind of a surprise that I'll talk about a little more next month. Just wanted to give you guys a little bit of a teaser here. Ooh, cool stuff. Here's the production version of the G-SCART Switch Lite. This is the one with that digital sync regeneration thing in it. I'm going to do a review, but it's really kind of hard because it works perfect, and it works very similar to the other one. So I think I'm going to do more of a quick review, just kind of showing the differences between the two side by side. And I really, really want to test the output of this and see if it holds true that no matter what sync you put through here, you get 75 ohm C-sync out of the SCART cable or SCART heads. Unfortunately, I still don't have an oscilloscope. I can't really afford one for a little while longer, but as soon as I get one, this will be just the first thing I test. So hopefully I'll be getting the new, I think the Keysight was the company I was looking at, but yeah, hopefully this will be up soon. Some more fun with the G-SCART switch. This is a prototype I had made back when I was assisting Super G with the sale. I like the acrylic look, but I also thought people might want an option to have a higher end, all solid metal switch. So I spent money on a prototype, but I read the quote wrong because I was busy recording my album. So I was gone 90% of the time, just driving on the road, trying to work from, coffee shops, then going to Long Island to record the album. And I read the quote wrong and didn't realize that this was a $650 prototype. So the good news is the design files are there and everything else is ready. So if Super G ever wanted to incorporate this into the design, it would be minimal work to get it tweaked over. The reason we decided not to include this was this would probably add $15 to $20 cost per, which, that's not too bad for people that want a premium option. But then it would also add like another $15 in shipping, and then international would be even worse. So my plans for this exact one is to have it powder coated. My buddy Ben from iFix Retro seems to have found a place that'll do a nice black powder coating. I got to do a few more little adjustments for mounting, but it should be fine. And then I'm going to install a switch right here for the low pass filter toggle. And this will just be my personal one because I figured if I spent so much freaking money on the prototype that I might as well use it. So hopefully I'll have this to show off soon. And just a quick FYI, if anybody needs a top cover for the version 3.4 G-SCART switch, I actually have a spare. And I don't really know what I would use it for. I'm also going to have the case that's on my current one as spares when I put it in the metal case. So if you have a cracked acrylic, please let me know and I might be able to take care of you. And of course I have to take a look at the Hydra. I've been kind of putting this off mostly because I just really don't have enough time, but there was kind of some bad blood about this thing when it all started. I don't really want to get into it because I really hate drama, but let's just say there's a very good reason why this looks extremely similar to a G-SCART switch. So overall, manufacturing issues aside, which could happen to anybody, but there were some manufacturing issues with this, but all in all, I don't think it's terrible. It's certainly better than a lot of the alternatives out there. My Life in Gaming didn't hate it, but in the very minimal testing I've done, I would definitely choose a G-SCART switch over this one, and not just because of the history, just because of performance. But I'll give it a full chance. I'll put it through. Hopefully I'll have an oscilloscope to test with it, but I'll also make sure to try it with my new capture card, which does full color spectrum. So you'd really be able to see any minute differences between the screenshots. And what a shock, more SCART switches. These are the Otaku one that I was talking about before. I actually had ordered this one with all of the extra RCA ports going in, and this is the manual switch. And for whatever reason, these suckers are sharp on the bottom. But I ordered this one and they had sent me the wrong one. They had actually sent me the version without all of the extra ports on it. And I emailed them. They were very friendly, and they just said, "We'll send you another one right away. Could you just do us a favor and send this one to somebody else, and we'll reimburse you for the shipping?" So of course they said no problem, and they sent me the address of the person, Corey Carlson. I was laughing my ass off, so I of course Skyped Corey right away and said, "Hey, dude, these guys just asked me to send you a Switch." So I'm actually going to hold off and I'll do a quick technical side review of it and then send it to Corey for him to take a look at. I'm going to assume that this has the shortcomings of every other mechanical Switch. And I also assume that as long as you have one console plugged in at a time, or at least one on at a time, it should work okay with not too much signal loss. But we'll see. Because a lot of these things, they don't seem to realize, or a lot of these switches, if you have dual outputs, you need some kind of circuitry in there and an amp. You can't just do passive. So I'll see. And once again, I'd really like to have an oscilloscope to really test, but I'll do my screenshot testing for it. But I think what I might end up using it for, because I did actually buy it, is just leaving it on a bench top to use with my 14-inch monitor, so that I could just have it here. I'll have the AV out, just go from RCA to BNC, and then this way on my BVM, I could either just plug in, I'll even just leave it in the same place, and I'll either just have a SCART plug or even a component video plug that I could put through it to route right through my BVM or PVM on the bench. Funny though that this one came with the standoff feet and these didn't, so I haven't seen their case for it yet. I heard it was pretty recessed, or I guess the ports are recessed because the case hovers over, so people don't think they'll be able to get the SCART hoods all the way in. But I'll definitely check them out, and I'll give them the benefit of the doubt. I haven't really messed with them at all, other than I plugged one in just to see if it would work. But things like this are strange and different, and I hope they have a place for them. I hope it doesn't just turn out to be junk. But I guess we'll find out. Well, that's it, guys. Once again, thank you so much for everything, and please let me know if you guys want to see more or less of anything. Was this video long and rambly and boring? Do you want to see more of stuff like this? What could I do? What could I offer as Patreon-only content that you guys would like? Do you guys want me to just put out a live stream every time I'm working on something neat? Sometimes I think that's kind of boring, but at the same time, I like watching Voltar and Badass Consoles do that when they're just working on stuff. So whatever it is that you guys want, if there's any suggestions or anything, please just let me know. And I'm just very excited that I get to continue to do this. So thanks again, and I'll see you next time.